Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was the, I guess later, not.
Yeah, we should have.
That's what it changes to conditional use review.
Yes. President Delort. Oh, no.
It was terrible. It's not a good sleep at all. Good evening. We'll call the Joint Steering Committee meeting to order. Let us stand for the pledge of allegiance.
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sarah, I assume you're really here. Start with public comment here. Does public comment? All right, move right to introductions, please. So Jessica, go ahead and start off.
Yes, absolutely. Carrie is here from Housel Levine. This is our consultant that the Plan Commission recommended and Village Board approved to guide us through the comprehensive plan project. Carrie, would you like to introduce yourself and your team?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for joining us this evening. My name is Carrie. I am with Housel Levine. I am joined by my colleagues Jacob and Nihar. We've been here for the past 2 days, kind of taking an inventory of the existing conditions of the village, speaking with a lot of folks and doing our kickoff with some community engagement. So we're really excited to be here with you tonight and go through a couple of the interesting points about the process, answer any questions that you might have, explain your role in the process moving forward. We'll go through a visioning workshop with you, and then we'll also conclude with next steps and really moving forward. So that's what we have planned for this evening. This is our agenda. So we're going to go over what the comprehensive plan is, why it's important, the project timeline, going through the planning process itself. Then most of the time we'd like to work through that workshop with you, go through the outreach strategies. I understand that you do need to make a motion on that. And then we'll talk about next steps. So who we are, Housel Levine is a planning, geospatial, and design firm. Our headquarters are in Chicago. My office is in Milwaukee. So primarily what we do are comprehensive plans. We also do corridor plans, downtown plans. We also do geospatial, meaning GIS work, digital twins. We also have technology innovations that we do, but primarily we do planning work. A lot of firms are like engineering and planning. We focus on planning. We'd like to have fun. We don't take ourselves very seriously, but we do take the project and the work very seriously. So we hope that you have fun with us while we go through this process and know that we are committed to going through the process with you. So a little bit about the planning process to get us started. What is a comprehensive plan? Well, you can think about it as a roadmap or a blueprint for the future. It's a policy document that is going to guide decision making for the next 20 to 25 years. We are looking out to 2050, so this is a long range plan. A good comprehensive plan does a few things. First, it engages the community, and that's what we've been doing over the past few days. We've been talking with folks in focus groups. Excuse me. We had a community visioning workshop last night where people got to go around a map that is of the village, identify areas where they think it's appropriate for housing, for transportation connections, walking and biking trails, and environmental preservation, all of the things that make up development and redevelopment within the village. So folks got a chance to work around a map and provide their thoughts and input that way. It is intended to identify what the community desires, what the aspirations are, what do you want to be in the future? And that goes through the visioning as well. So, and the issues and strengths. Part of what we're doing during this kickoff process is we're gathering as much information as we possibly can to establish where the village is today, that baseline that we're going to be building off of. That'll culminate in an existing conditions memorandum. Again, that baseline, where we're starting off with. It's a broad range of topics that are covered within the comprehensive plan. Again, this is policy. This is not your zoning code. This is not regulatory at this point, but it does set the stage for regulatory improvements. And it's dynamic. Often in the past, comprehensive plans were kind of a static document that may have lived in the planning department. The planning staff would use it to evaluate development opportunities and proposals, and that's where it would live. More often, what we're seeing and what we are proposing is for these comprehensive plans to be available online. That's where they live. They're written in plain English, concise English. We shouldn't need to have a planning or a law degree to be able to understand where we're going and where we're headed within the comprehensive plan. They're graphically rich. You will see diagrams, you will see photos, you will see examples, you will see case studies. All of those are intended to be at a wide audience so that they're used by the decision makers to evaluate development proposals, but also used by the developers to know what the village wants to see in the future, by landowners so they know and have that common knowledge of what they can do, that fair certainty, what they can do with their property in the future. And it allows their neighbors to also know what's coming up in terms of future development plans. It should also be updated every once in a while. Statute requires that this is updated every 10 years, but obviously taking a look at it more often, especially if you're developing or if you're experiencing growth quite a bit, every 2 to 3 years, it's often a good idea to just kind of take a look and make sure that this is still on track and do small updates like that as you go ahead. So why is it important? Well, this is the village's story. It's intended to tell what your vision is, what your aspirations are for the future. This is your plan. It's informed by community input, and it should be reflective of what the community wants to be 25 years from now. It is also used, as I mentioned, to evaluate and inform proposals. So decision makers, staff, whoever is going to be making those decisions on development proposals, they will refer to this document to make sure that they are conformed to the comprehensive plan. It's a foundation for the regulatory framework, and not your zoning code, but what we recommend after this process, once it's adopted, is to do a zoning audit. Take a look at your zoning code and make sure that those two documents are talking to each other, that they're supporting each other, that the regulatory framework is in place so that you can achieve the goals and the recommendations within the plan and achieve that vision, or work toward achieving that vision. It will also often be used to coordinate local and regional initiatives. So let's say that you have a multi-jurisdictional project that you need to work on. That can be used to kind of identify where those areas are, where you might need to form those partnerships. It supports the capital improvements planning and budgeting. So you should be looking at this every, couple of years, 5 years, so to make sure that the projects that you're anticipating can have the funding and the budget to back them up. It's also used whenever you're looking for grant opportunities or the funding sources. Often grant applications look at whether or not you have a comprehensive plan that supports the project for which you are requesting funds. If the community is in support of that through having that project reflected in the comprehensive plan, that's often one of the criteria in order to be approved for those kinds of funds. And of course, it's intended to inform and educate the community. This is something that should be used so that everybody is aware of where the village wants to go in the future. And it's their vision, it's everybody's input for where to go. But what about the past plans? What about all the great planning work that we've done over the past? That doesn't go away. We want to make sure that we're building upon that, that anything that is still relevant in terms of goals, in terms of aspirations, in terms of projects, maybe we didn't get to it, maybe we can improve upon that, but we want to make sure that we're building on the good planning work that's been done in the past, but still innovating and providing new goals, new aspirations, new strategies to achieve some of the goals that we want to work toward now, and also be reflective of the work that's happened, of the development that's occurred since the last plan update. So the process is really about a 12 to 14-month process through 5 steps. If you remember anything about the process, it's really 3 basic things. Where are we today? Where is the village at that point? Where's the baseline? What's the development? What's on the ground right now? Where do we want to be? Where do we want to be in 2050? Where are we going? And finally, how are we going to get there? What are the strategies that we are going to implement in order to realize the vision that we have? So we are in the kickoff and existing conditions phase, and also going into the public engagement phase. So we've done the kickoff. That was part of the community visioning last night. And then public engagement continuing through the process. This meeting with you all, we've also had 8 focus groups that we concluded this afternoon. And then we'll continue into the public engagement as we go through the process. And we'll talk about that public engagement plan for the rest of the program. This is just a highlight of the things that were included in the scope. Again, we have a village web page on the village website that is dedicated to this project. So anything having to do with the process will live on that web page. Going live tomorrow, the online community survey and map.social will give you a little bit of a preview of what map.social looks like. The community survey takes about 15 minutes to complete. There's an additional few questions that are aimed at the business community, so folks can answer specific questions related to commerce if they're a business owner or operator. There's also a separate community facilities and services survey that will be sent directly to community service providers, and we'll ask them a series of questions kind of aimed at what their future needs are, so that we're incorporating that into the plan as well, so we can plan for where the utilities, for example, will need to go, or what the project plans are for those kinds of extensions in the future. Do-it-yourself workshop kits will also be available tomorrow. That's a kind of a package of what we're going to go through tonight. As anybody who has a community group, book club, Lions Club, whatever you have, that you can request a DIY kit and conduct a little visioning workshop with your group and provide that information to us as well. Excuse me. As I said, we concluded the focus groups this afternoon. We spoke with 8 different groups, ranging anywhere from religious and educational organizations all the way through to developers and accountants. So we spoke with a wide range of folks. We even spoke with 2 groups of residents representing seniors and first-time residents, people who just moved to the community within the last 2 years. So we got a wide variety of perspectives, a lot of good ideas and conversations over the last 2 days. We had a business community open house this morning that was very well attended. So we got some feedback from people. We had 3 questions that we asked them, and then we pointed them to additional opportunities for participation in the future. The community visioning workshop was last night. We had a very good turnout for that. Folks were able to kind of sit around the map and identify where they wanted things to go, where they thought things were appropriate to go, and give us their big ideas, the vision for the future. And of course, these joint committee meetings will happen at different stages throughout the process. This is a snapshot of what the steering committee's involvement will be. This is the first meeting, and we saw some of you at the community visioning workshop last night, so thank you for your attendance. We will be providing the vision statement, goals, and preliminary land use map in the next meeting with you for you to kind of evaluate and give us feedback, make sure that we're on the right track before we move ahead into drafting the comprehensive plan elements which will then be the third meeting with you. We'll go over the draft plan with you, make sure that we're representing exactly what we heard. So what we would be asking all of you to do is review the draft elements and information that we provide. And then you're gonna be the sounding board. We're gonna be bouncing these ideas off of you, making sure that they're reflective of what the board is supportive of, but also reflecting what the community has provided to us. The meetings will have scheduled to correspond with as much as possible their regular meeting schedule. Feedback throughout the planning process, we invite you to be part of any kind of engagement opportunity and any kind of outreach that we have throughout the process. And then this will be informative for other boards and commissions. So this is the fun part. This is where we'd like to engage all of you and get some feedback from you. So Jacob is going to walk us through this workshop.
Just ask the Plan Commission and Village Board, do you have any questions before we get started? Just about the process, why you're here, how much fun it's going to be. Okay, good.
And if you have any questions when we go through the workshop, please don't hesitate to ask. Sometimes things will come up and you mentioned this, but we'll be here to answer questions, obviously. So this is going to be something that we work through with you. We would ask that you not move ahead, just because we want to make sure that this is that we're getting you to provide the feedback on one thing at a time. What we want to do is get your feedback initially on the first question. We'll rank them and then we'll ask for a few more pieces of information. So Jacob is going to walk you through this.
So the first question on your sheet is the, where's the,
Oh, next slide.
first question we're gonna go through is the identify 5 issues or concerns confronting draft. Anything you can think of, potentially traffic or housing affordability, anything you can think of. Gonna give you a couple minutes to think through those. We're just gonna scan that first question right now.
Raise our hand.
Nope, you're going to fill out your form. Yep, so we're individually writing on our form right now, and then we'll report in just a second.
Yes. Alrighty. Sound your still. Couple more seconds. think. So you're still writing here, that's okay. I think we're gonna go through one at a time. Start with, top of your list and start to work through, if somebody already said, what you had before, and you have no other ones, you said pass, but we're just gonna go through one at a time, just kind of continue to go through the ones we exhausted that list. Carrie's gonna write them down, and then move on to the next part, so.
And Jacob, you just like to have Plan Commission trustees just offer one thing at a time,
Yes, one
right?
thing at a time, it's.
Sounds good.
Yes, thank you.
So just one in the five?
Yes.
Pick one thing from your list.
I'll go with school facilities, so aging facilities, growing population.
Is that just the buildings and
What's that?
buildings?
Buildings, athletics, yeah.
Jessica?
No, it's okay. Just remember to use your mic.
Oh, thank
So
you.
we are recording this.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So head is, but I would say confined borders, we don't have a lot of developable space.
Global space? Is that just to, do you have a specific area that's confined or?
We don't have a lot of space to Oak Ridge Park, industrial park, or, I mean, it's pretty much borders are getting tight.
To echo everyone else's, I also have the schools as one of my items, but the first item I wanted to bring up was rural versus urban development. So a lot of times we've seen in plan commission, if a rural or like undeveloped piece of property is becoming developed, there's a lot of back and forth with the feedback from the community. So I think we've talked about this, I think this plan will help, but it seems like there's a desire to keep Grafton rural, and people that moved here a long time ago still want that feel, but then we also have to kind of balance that with the services of the newer residents as well. So I don't know, yeah, I don't know,
Rural versus urban development.
that's what I have.
Yeah.
Headaches.
Next.
Yeah, housing affordability, I know that house prices in the area have been getting higher and higher. I'm a newer resident, so I've been seeing that and affected by it, so I understand that's an issue right now in Grafton.
Yeah, we're seeing housing affordability across a lot of different communities right now, so.
Preservation of our business corridors.
Any specific one or?
I think, really we have Port Washington Road. We have, Highway 60 to a certain extent up to the high school. Along I-43. We're obviously, as Jim says, we're limited on how far we can go into the town or to the next municipal.
I have repairs and maintenance for a water facility in the village here. Jones. This, or just water, so. The water facility, you know.
Maintaining a high level of safety here in town, with hiring of police officers.
Perhaps some more police officers,
Pardon?
more police officers?
Yes.
Congestion of traffic, especially on Highway 60.
Is there anywhere else you're seeing traffic, especially with the construction along?
Port Washington Road.
Yeah. We were just driving through there earlier today and they got backed up before me and I were just driving through and I told them, turn around. Go the other way.
I guess mine is kind of related to that. My concern is traffic growth, not related to Grafton itself. The river corridor is kind of an impediment to traffic movement. You know, there are only 3 bridges at Grafton to get across the river. And because of that, just so the kind of the overall design of the traffic flow there, to get traffic that's through traffic out of Grafton per se.
I think I understand what you're saying.
You know, there's a lot of traffic that passes through Grafton that's going to Cedarburg. There's a lot of
Yeah.
traffic that passes through Grafton that's going to West Bend. You know, because again, the bridges become a barrier to traffic.
I'm concerned about the decrease in green space with any development. So I would like to see green space maintained, if not incorporated into every development, anything. Residential, commercial,
Maintaining zero green space.
yes.
So like I said before, we're gonna keep going through, if you had everything on your list already said, you could say pass. Only so until, you know,
I had housing density / variety, I guess. I don't know if that. So near the affordability, but I think it's a little bit different.
like you'd like to see more density? Or
I think just having a plan,
kind of,
I had overall cost of emergency services.
is that specific to fire or police or?
Yeah, we've gone to a joint fire department and
Yeah.
full-time. That will continue to grow over time.
Another area that I have, as Grafton's growing, continue to provide services associated with larger communities, so things like summer camps, parks and rec activities, the pools, and more of those leisure activities. And I think as Grafton's increasing, we're finding those are harder to get into, less available. It's kind of a variety of associated services. A variety of associated services.
We did hear a lot today, of great services do provide or used to provide. You don't hear a lot in other communities, so what you guys have here, you're impressive, so.
Some more non-auto connectivity between subdivisions. I know that there are some subdivisions that are, because we have expanded so quickly, that haven't had the same access to the downtown area that majority of places in the area do. So I know we are working on that, but it's still something that's concerning.
Building that multimodal transit a bit, you know, bike lanes, bike trails, sidewalks, multi-use.
Investigation of a 4th access across the river to the east side of town and the west side. North side of the village.
Issue I have. The triangle, what are we gonna do with the triangle?
Just having a plan for that.
No.
Even though we did just pass the joint fire department, we still have to address the fire station itself.
and the need for expansion there.
I know this is a growing community too, and another issue is been brought up before that it might need to grow in general too and expand the fire facility. Like another station potentially too. Is that something that,
Which doesn't mean that we can't house the.
Yeah.
Firefighters in there adequate.
Finding the right balance of attracting additional businesses to come into our community without becoming too big. Different types of restaurants or other types of businesses.
has there been other businesses you've seen that you'd like to emulate at all or see in Grafton, you've seen elsewhere?
I mean, I think like we're all asking for some nice sit-down restaurants, instead of just fast food chains. But, again, to have other businesses come in without becoming a Brookfield and that type of stuff.
Maintaining the river areas through the village as a nature corridor and kind of connectivity between the existing parks that we have there along.
So would you guys like to see like a river walk along the, or a river trail along the river? That spans entire city? Or is that?
That would be an interesting concept, but unfortunately, I feel like that would be very expensive. It would be just leaving that as development continues, that we have access to that access point for everybody, so continuing the parks of that. Right then.
And to kind of add on to Andy in the river, we have a serious issue in the river, the sediment from the dams being taken out upstream of us. We have a lot of algae that's formed because there's very little water. It's not moving very fast. We just put up a kayak launch. It's right in the middle of the algae. So unless we really invest in our river and the quality of the river, I think we're gonna get behind on this. It's already really changing.
So river cleanup.
Dredging.
One more?
No, all five of mine.
Are you including road maintenance in some of your? Okay, so the only other one that I would have is consistency with the county's master.
So we can share those plannable line.
Mhm.
That's just it.
Yeah, okay.
All good.
I'm good. I'd like to have a plan to, look at our declining or empty industrial buildings, our old business parks, i.e. Tecumseh, Pace, in the entire business area on the north side of town. It's not getting any younger.
Do you have any idea of what you might see the future of those facilities or sites looking like?
Now, are they going to look to space? Diversity, also diversity, another optimistic.
One sec.
That's,
Yeah.
The only one I have is ensuring that we keep our downtown vibrant. We have so much growth out here, but how do we keep those businesses in the downtown?
In downtown Auburn.
Mine are covered.
I think with future commercial development, we need to avoid the tightness of the highway, the sidewalk, and the structure. We have a couple of areas around town that is very tight. I would like to see a larger setback for that. When the triangle was being discussed, it was gonna be very tight. There was gonna be sidewalk in the building. So larger setbacks.
Any more? One more.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last night. We do need to think about some type of affordable housing, however you want to call it. Never know it.
We have,
Okay, is it, okay, as long as it says affordable. I so think to keep high density buildings, apartments, multifamily out of single family neighborhoods.
as long as Carrie's all set here. The next thing we're gonna do is move on to number 2 here, and list in order of importance. All of these great issues and concerns we have here. You're gonna pick 3 of them. This one on your sheet. If you go through again and just say out what they are. In order of importance, you just put the number, number 6, number 19, number 28. On your sheet here. And then we're gonna go through the next step. So number 1. Oh gosh, that's really quiet, or really small. Number 1 is aging school facilities. I swear, I don't need glasses, guys. Number 2 is a confined border or a limited developable area, specifically like the business parks and commercial areas. Number 3 is the balance between rural feel and the new urban development. Number 4 is housing affordability. Number 5 is preservation of business corridors. Number 6 is water facility, the maintenance and repairs. Number 7 is maintaining safety and police staff. Number 8 is traffic congestion, especially on Highway 60, as well as Port Washington. Number 9 is river impediment through traffic. Number 10, decreasing green space and trying to maintain and preserve some of that open space. Number 11 is housing density and having a plan for that. Number 12 is having more housing variety. Number 13, cost of emergency services, especially with the joint department. Number 14, a need for recreation and leisure activity services. Having more of that. Number 15, non-auto connected neighborhoods. So focusing more on multimodal transportation. Number 16, potential port connection in terms of the river. Having that bridge, especially connecting north. Number 17, what to do with the triangle. Number 18, a need for a fire station and expanding the fire department. Number 19, balancing new businesses with the growth. Number 20, maintaining natural river corridor. Number 21, accessing the river and having parks along the river. Number 22, dredging the river and just improving the condition for recreation use. Number 23, consistency with the county plan and making sure this plan and that plan align. 24, road maintenance. Number 25, having a plan for obsolete or declining industrial businesses, especially north side. Number 26, keeping downtown vibrant. Number 27, avoid right-of-way and setback constraints. And then finally, number 28, keeping high density development separate from single family neighborhoods. So I'm going to go through here and say, does anybody have number 1? And you're going to raise your hand. I'm gonna be counting and hopefully no one's gonna vote twice. You only have 3 options, so we can count out. It doesn't matter, also it doesn't matter what order too, so if you had, one of your options is number 3, you can still raise your hand. I think I got everything right. Okay. So, does anybody have number 1? 2 for number 1. Did anybody have number 2 on their list?
Could you say those two just so we know?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I can do
Yeah,
that.
so we know.
So number 1 was aging school facilities. Number 2 was the confined borders and limited development, especially for business parks and commercial corridors.
No, so one.
So 1, okay. Number 3, balanced rural field versus urban development. 1, 2. Number 4, housing affordability. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was just a scratch. Number 5, preservation of business corridors. We got 1. Number 6, water facility repairs and maintenance. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Does that change it for anybody else at all, or? 4? Number 7, maintaining safety and police staff. It's 2. Number 8. Gary, is it okay? Okay. Number 8 is traffic congestion, especially along Highway 60. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 9, the river impediment of through traffic. It's a scratch. Not a scratch, same thing. Number 10, decreasing green space and maintaining some of that open space and natural area. We got 1. Number 11, housing density and having a plan for that. That's 0. Number 12, having more housing variety. 1, 2, 3. 3. Number 13, cost of emergency vehicle and emergency services. 1. Number 14, having a need for recreation and leisure activity services. Having one of those in the community. 0. Number 15, non-auto connected neighborhoods and having more of that multimodal transportation. 0. Number 16, potential fourth connection, especially from north community. That's 0. Number 17, what to do with the triangle. We got 2. Number 18, a need for a fire station expansion. Building that would be very helpful. 0. Number 19, balancing new business and growth. Any new business development. 0. Number 20, maintaining a natural river corridor, preserving that asset. 0. Number 21, maintaining that access to the river and having parks along the river. It's also 0. Improving the condition of the river and dredging it. 0. Number 3, the consistency with the county plan and making sure this plan and that plan align. So 0. Number 24, road maintenance, making sure we have those improvements. We have 1. Number 25, plan for obsolete / declining industrial businesses. Commercial corridors, no, not commercial corridors. 0. Number 26, keeping downtown vibrant. You got two. Number 27, avoiding right-of-way and setback constraints. Nope, 0. And 28, keeping high density development separate from single family. So the reason we do this is when you see all these options up on the wall, you might think, oh, I didn't think of access to the river or different road maintenance. So you see different options rise to the top as you choose collectively which ones you might have thought of and go, oh, yeah, actually housing affordability is a really big issue. Or traffic congestion, especially on Highway 60 is a huge issue. I think those are probably the top two for my utility, facility repairs and maintenance.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, you know, we talked about housing affordability and housing variety, those kind of go hand in hand. I don't know, is there,
We keep those separate here because when we go into the plan, we take all of these options and we still bring it in. So obviously these are still important. They will make their way into the plan.
Okay.
But now we have a bit of focus of where the community say, where the top priorities here. As I said, we'll still talk about housing variety, housing density, you know, maintaining green space, especially, you know, discussing the rivers. That's a huge part of Grafton. So. Moving on to the next step is the identify 3 specific projects, actions that you'd like to see undertaken that would positively impact the village. So think of this like money isn't necessarily an issue. So if there's a project or a specific thing that you would do if you were in charge for the day, everyone else in this building just went on vacation for the weekend or a week, and you just got to say, hey, we're going to do this project. You have a really nice way of saying it sometimes that everybody just goes off to Hawaii. So if you think of 3 different projects or actions, and we'll just kind of go popcorn style, I think. So if you have an idea, raise your hand and just money
Or
is
we
no
can-
object.
Or we could take a couple minutes for them to think too.
Yeah.
This was hard at department heads also for even for us, so.
This is usually one of my favorite prompts because some people come up with some really fun ideas.
referring to today?
Yeah. Based on any of the issues we saw up here, if you want to just tackle one of those, or if you thought something else that you just really always want to see in the community. Like train.
Mark, you can join us up here if you'd like. I could come over here.
Anybody want to start us off?
My priority is to dredge the river to improve river access for our residents' use.
Money's no object. Highway 65 past Nova.
Yes.
Joint.
More cooperation or cooperation between the town and the village.
The triangle turned into a green space with possibly a building for the Grafton Area Chamber of Commerce and our Grafton Historical Society.
I'd like to establish a local work group to inform the public and also introduce the discussion on working age housing, what it's going to take.
Redevelopment of unused industrial areas for affordable housing.
It's like a school growth strategic plan. That's a great idea. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's much planning.
Dovetailing at the 20-year municipal space needs analysis.
I have a couple similar ones, but the one that hasn't been said, just like more fully developed, recreation items. So like, finishing off the Grafton Little League complex, finding another spot for a splash pad. I don't know, like those community type things.
Anyone else have any fun? Yeah,
Yeah, and kind of tail on that, to try to update our aquatic center, take care of some of our pocket parks throughout town that have basically kind of been stagnant for a while. That's what I have updated.
yeah. I drove by that the other day and it was packed.
I put down, develop the Paramount Park at Falls as well.
Going off of that, I have additional art beautification of the Jazz history in town, so whether it's finishing that park along the river or just incorporating other art murals or something, but going off of the Jazz history and really building on that beautiful aspect of our community.
Or for the river bridge to the north. Again, money's no object.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I go along with Andy Joyce on that one, that we need to have really a combined effort of county, state, adjoining townships to address the issue with the traffic issues. Cedarburg, Jackson, everybody together to say, you can't push things to Grafton. How are you fixing it?
If we can't get a single building to house public safety in one spot, we still need to figure out something for the fire departments to expand their, and to, fix the issues that they have over there.
It's okay if you don't.
Self-serving, but I don't at Veterans Park or not, Centennial Park, softball, there's so many rainouts. That's not self-serving. It's just a great idea.
We've already identified infill projects in our current plan. Take action on those infill projects, not just the triangle, but all of that we've already identified that need some kind of help, need some kind of development, and then move forward with all of them.
I'll throw one in here. This is gonna turn some, it's gonna, it's gonna be progressive here, but I'd like to, get look at a sales tax, a local sales tax to fund all of this.
Yeah. These are all really great ideas and we'll be collecting your sheets, so make sure you write them down and then we're gonna take them and make sure that makes it into the summary, and just for our knowledge too, so we make sure what you're saying is, we'll start one guy in the back taking notes, so. The last question on the sheet is a nice way to end off the workshop, and it's just identifying the primary strengths and assets of Grafton. What makes Grafton unique, what makes Grafton Grafton. kind of other things too, what's working right now that when we go into developing a plan, we don't want to mess up or change at all. And when you have those and feel comfortable, you can just start shot.
But Grafton's really a full service community. We have healthcare, hospitality, business industry and retail. So where people come shop. And we pretty much have everything here that we need to support our residents and citizens.
Yeah, we're really the retail center of Ozaki County.
I will say I'm really jealous of the fact that you guys have Costco and Sendix and Pick and Save. I miss having Pick and Save.
We live up to our motto of quality of life naturally.
That we have a small town feel with a larger community offerings. Like everybody said.
It's people.
Yeah.
I think it's also the river. We have a lot to offer with the river and everything that opens up for people and families. I have our green space along the river and the balance of the urban to rural feel. We really do have a beautiful balance of just the right amount of both. And it is important to kind of keep that special percentage of both going on.
Reasonable, property taxes.
It's a family-based community. There's a lot of old families that have been here a long time that tend to attract new families that don't.
We also with our proximity downtown, that's with the 43 corner that for
Easy access to Lake Michigan too. It's a lot easier.
With that, I'm gonna hand it back over to Carrie to go through some of the next outreach steps and steps in there.
All right, well, thank you so much for that. That's really informative. We really hope that you had fun with doing that. Sometimes some of those questions are a little bit difficult to answer because if you have unlimited resources, you have funds, it's kind of like, well, wait, what am I doing? So that's really great that you came up with some really wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. Next, we want to talk about the public engagement plan that we have. I understand that you do need to make an action on that. So before you should have a copy of what was included in the public engagement plan. Generally on the screen right now, we have just a list of some of the things that we're going to be doing. So many meetings throughout the process with all of you to ensure that we're bouncing those ideas off of you, presenting those draft documents for your review and comments and feedback. The village website will be the repository for everything having to do with the plan. All of the updates, events, the access to the online materials will still be posted there throughout the process. I should mention that we have the survey and map.social and the DIY kits available through about the end of July. The key stakeholder interviews and focus groups, we've included those, so we'll provide you with a summary of that as part of the existing conditions memorandum. That's our next step. Business community open house, we did that this morning, and the community visioning workshop that kind of kicked off the process. All of that's kind of outlined in that that public engagement memo that you have in front of you. What is not on the screen is the action at the end of the process. So folks can still be a part of the process through the online access, through giving comments on the draft materials that will be posted, as well as the public open house and the adoption process. So there are opportunities for folks to still stay engaged. And throughout the process, if they have any questions, if they have any feedback that maybe they weren't able to attend one of the public in-person events, they can always provide those comments to Jessica. Jessica can provide those comments back to us so that they make it into the documents that we present for all of you. So if you have any questions with that, be happy to answer them. If not, I will turn it over to Jessica. Yes.
For the DIY kits,
Yes, ma'am.
when those get turned in, is there gonna be like a point where you will maybe connect with us to specifically go over those DIY kits?
I'm not sure I quite follow.
I just feel like that's such a unique thing, to hand out, whether it's like to a Lions Club or a community, you know, like you said, like a book club or different things. So like as those come in, would we get to see those or like hit?
Oh, absolutely. So those would get summarized as part of the outreach summaries that we would provide to you. So when I mentioned that they were going to be available till about the end of July. The summary for the first part of this public engagement process, that will be included in the existing conditions memorandum, which we are expecting to be a little bit ahead of the closing date for the online materials. So then we would just update that with whatever DIY kits become available. So you will get summaries of everything that has happened in terms of community engagement. And if you have specific questions, we can certainly talk about, you know, how we can connect on that moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Would it just be summaries or would we also get the raw data behind this too?
yes, you will also get raw data. You won't necessarily get, well, you'll get anything that is posted to the project webpage, certainly. We're not connecting certain people with comments. So everything is going to be summarized thematically, but you will get everything in terms of how many people participated in this, how many comments did we get, the online survey results, you will get the raw data from that as well. The raw data from the map.social, the number of DIY kits that got returned, responses therefore.
So we'll be promoting this, I'm sure, in a multitude of ways. Is there any way that your group itself helps us to get the word out about this?
Sure, we can provide public, your, that's what I'm looking for, your social media, that's it. Social media postings, we can certainly help you, create and post those to all of your various media, outlets. We've had a couple of, press releases that have gone out as well. So, and I do know that the library has offered to help promote these opportunities as well. Okay.
We also will be establishing a email mailing list based on all the participants that have, you know, participated both yesterday and today. And so we'll, like I say, I'll create that mailing list and send out email blasts with, you know, reminders when we open up the survey and the map.social mapping opportunity, when those things close, but when there's new information available on the website, when we have the existing conditions summary. So at key points along the way, I'll be doing that as well.
So that email list will be used to kind of keep the residents who are engaged in this, currently engaged, and continued with their involvement.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, we didn't have a lot of citizen participants last night. And I'm wondering if, Jessica, is it possible to put something out in a general line on the water bill, just so that, you know, everybody knows, hey, there's something out there that you might want.
I can ask the utility if that's possible. Mhm.
Yeah, I think the water to utility. 60. So I think it would be like the next September, I don't, that's what, you know, our recent time. But I think a heavy Facebook, social media presence will assist with that as well as newspaper.
We could then perhaps time that with the release of the draft vision statement and future land use map, perhaps with the next billing cycle.
Yeah, well, and we also have email lists of citizens who want to be notified of, you know, village meetings and things like that. Is that something that we can incorporate?
Sure.
And our school district also has a community bulletin board, and I'm sure the Grafton Area Chamber of Commerce would help us cross promote this as well.
Great. Jessica?
So the next item on the agenda is to take action on the public participation plan. State statutes do require that the village adopt this, so I would recommend that a member of that the plan commission vote to make a recommendation to the village board to adopt the public participation plan as presented.
So moved.
Okay, motion second, discussion. And then commission, in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. We go to the village board. And same question, I'll look for a motion in a second from the village board.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All right, seeing none, hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Next step.
Great, thank you so much. We'd like to just give you an idea of what those online materials look like. So right now, there is a web page that is accessible through the village website. This is currently live. The way that you get to it is you look for the Comprehensive Plan 2050 Update Project. That's what the orange box is outlining for you right there. This is just a snippet of what is on the website right now. You can also access it through that link. That'll take you directly there. Again, this is going to be the repository for everything during the process. Any documents, any opportunities for public engagement, the links to the survey and map.social, the availability of the DIY kits, everything is going to be posted here throughout the process. The community survey will also go live tomorrow. It's about a 15-minute completion time, and at the end of that survey, again, there are the additional business community questions. So if you own or operate a business within the village, you can take those supplemental questions with you. The community facilities and services survey, which is separate from this, will be emailed directly to participants. That is kind of a select group, so that'll be a direct invite for that community survey. Again, you will all receive the results of that survey and the other survey that we have on here. And that will be available again through about the end of July. Map.social is an online mapping program that our firm has developed. If you're familiar with how Google Maps is kind of laid out, it's a similar kind of layout. What it allows you to do is drop pins in specific areas on a map of the village. It also allows you to draw a polygon or an area shape around an area where you can identify things for development, future development, things that need to be preserved, or maybe some attention items. There are about 10 categories that you can choose from in order to put pins and areas on the map. You can identify future corridors, future connections, sidewalks, bike paths, those kinds of things. You can identify problematic intersections. It's not all, negative. It's also very positive. Where there are opportunities for development and redevelopment. What it also allows you to do is post comments like other people's maps. Include links to other kind of example communities or example developments that you'd like to see there. You can post photos. So if you want to say like, this would be a great opportunity for a new pool, for example, you can say a pool like the one in this unit. You can see other people's maps. You can comment and like other people's maps. It does require a login, but that's just so that you can get back to and amend your maps. This will be available until about the end of July as well. And as far as next steps are concerned, this was really kind of our baseline. This was doing our due diligence, our homework on the village to establish the baseline of where we are right now, so we can build upon that for the future. So the next step, we've already gone through the in-person engagement. We have the online engagement. It does say available now, but that's really the web page. The other things will go live tomorrow. The deliverables that will be next, we'll be delivering that existing conditions memorandum. Think of it kind of like our book report on the community. Where are you? What are the demographics saying? Where are the developable areas? What have we heard from the community? Those outreach summaries will also be a part of this. The outreach summaries will be updated as we get the closure of the online materials as well. So you'll get the initial kind of kickoff summary and then an update. It's just another slide saying the same thing. So we want to say thank you so much for your participation in this. We're really excited to be part of this. We really hope that this is going to be a great process for all of you, and we are really excited about this comprehensive plan. It's a very important project. So thank you all. If you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much. Look for a motion to adjourn.
The motion.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.